This moment right here is this generation's I Am Your Father. This is up there with the Darth Vader identity reveal.
It had been a minute since Nikocado Avocado shook the whole internet with one upload. For years, people treated him like the loudest punchline on the platform. Messy mukbangs, screaming, crying, mountains of food, and drama so over the top that the food almost became the side character. He knew people were watching to judge him, laugh at him, and clip the wildest moments, and somehow he kept feeding the machine. Then, boom, the mask came off. In September 2024, Nicholas Perry, the man behind Nikocado Avocado, dropped 2 steps ahead and revealed he had secretly lost around 250 pounds over 2 years while keeping the old, bigger version of himself alive through pre-recorded uploads.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead. This has been the greatest social experiment of my entire life. So I am the villain because I've made myself one.
That was the crazy part, because the audience thought they were watching his downfall in real time, but behind the scenes, he was already moving different. That is why the switch-up hit so hard. The same internet that had been calling him a joke suddenly had to sit there and ask, wait, did he play everybody?
The day I woke up from a very long dream, and I also woke up having lost 250 pounds off of my body.
Even big commentary channels like Penguin Zero reacted, because this was not just another weight loss reveal. It was a full plot twist with receipts, timing, and a whole villain monologue attached.
This moment right here is this generation's I Am Your Father. This is up there with the Darth Vader identity reveal. Perhaps one of the most unexpected things I've seen in quite some time.
Since then, the energy around him has felt way quieter, and honestly, that makes sense. It feels like Nikocado already got what he came for: attention, money, viral power, and the legendary internet moment that made people question how much of his chaos was real and how much was a character.
For as long as I tell the internet that I am the villain, stories that permeate and linger and infect the minds of the ants, influence the ants, brainwash the ants. You are the ant.
While everybody was running their mouths, he was stacking views, building suspense, and letting the audience expose how obsessed they were with watching a stranger crash out online. But to understand how wild this is, you have to go back to the beginning. Nikocado Avocado, real name Nicholas Perry, started his channel around 2014, and the early version of him barely looks connected to the character people know today. Back then, he was doing vegan videos, soft lifestyle content, and violin performances. No screaming, no table shaking, no mountain of noodles, just a calm creator trying to fit into a totally different corner of the internet.
I rotted a tooth. I had low B12 deficiency. My sex drive was terrible.
Really?
Terrible.
I wondered that. Okay.
Terrible.
Wow.
I developed hypoglycemia. I don't know if it's directly related to the veganism, but I never had that before.
Then, around 2016, the whole vibe changed fast. Nikocado stepped away from veganism, and he did not make it some soft, quiet exit either. He talked about health issues, feeling drained, and feeling like the vegan community had become too hostile and judgmental around him.
I said in that video, why do vegans have to make everything about veganism? Why? There's so much more to life than veganism. Yes, it's an important cause, but when it becomes everything, you sound no different than the Mormons going door to door, knocking on the door saying, join my club.
Whether people agreed with him or not, that was the moment the old Nikocado started fading out. And once he left that lane, the content didn't just switch, it leveled up into full internet madness. The meals got bigger, the reactions got louder, and the videos slowly became more like a show than a normal mukbang. It was messy, dramatic, emotional, and low-key designed to make people stop scrolling and say, what is going on here?
Fake noodle? Noodle? Okay.
Very picky.
He's a very picky bird, stubborn as can be. He only wants his food hot. And I'm telling him, in the wild, out with the other birdies, you'd be eating your food off the Oh, he made no objections to come onto my finger. That was at first.
From a numbers angle, it worked like crazy. The bigger the portions got, the wilder the thumbnails became, and the more intense his on-camera personality got. The more people watched, his videos started pulling huge views, and across his different channels, he turned that chaos into a real business. That is the part people forget. While everyone was roasting him, he was still getting paid off the attention.
Oh.
He's a really, really good person. Like what? Why is he so good? 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 It's
But the way people watched him started changing too. It was no longer just food content, and it was not even simple entertainment anymore. A lot of viewers were tuning in like they were watching a slow-motion car crash, curious to see how far he would push it, and whether the next upload would be even more unhinged than the last. Over time, that became his whole reputation. People stopped treating him like a creator they respected and started using him like a warning sign. The comments turned into people saying his videos made them want to eat better, live cleaner, or avoid becoming that kind of online spectacle. That is a brutal image to carry, but Nikocado kept leaning into it. And then the drama made it even bigger. His public clash with Stephanie Sue in 2019 became one of the ugliest creator feuds in the mukbang space, with accusations, response videos, fan wars, and both sides trying to control the story. Every controversy kept his name moving, but it also pushed the same idea deeper. To the audience, this looked less like a man in control and more like a creator getting swallowed by his own character. At that point, the internet had already decided the story for him. To most people, Nikocado was not some mastermind playing a long game. He looked like someone spiraling on camera, getting louder, heavier, angrier, and more trapped in the exact character that made him famous. Eventually, people stopped expecting a comeback at all. The general feeling was this is just who he is now, and every upload made it seem like things were only going to get messier. Then September 7th came around, and Two Steps Ahead dropped like a bomb. Within minutes, the whole picture people had built in their heads started cracking. The physical transformation alone had people frozen. He revealed he had lost around 250 pounds over 2 years.
First of all, I was on a diet for 800 days.
While still uploading pre-recorded content that made viewers think they were watching the old version of him in real time. That detail is what made the reveal so nasty, because the internet thought it was up to date, but it was really reacting to a delayed version of the show. But honestly, the weight loss wasn't even the wildest part. It was the way he presented it. The calm voice, the panda mask, the social experiment framing. The way he spoke directly to the audience like he had been studying their behavior for years. It did not feel like a creator saying, "Hey, I changed." It felt like someone saying, "I watched all of you fall for it." That is what made the video hit different. Up until then, most people were not breaking down his strategy or thinking about long-term planning. They were just watching, laughing, judging, clipping, reacting, and assuming everything was happening exactly as it looked. Then the reveal landed, and suddenly everyone had to rewind the entire timeline like, wait, what were we actually watching? Because once you realized he was losing weight behind the scenes while posting older content, those videos stopped looking the same. They no longer read purely like a man losing control in real time. They start looking like a creator leaning into a role, stretching the drama and letting people believe what they wanted to believe because the attention was still working. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but once that idea clicks, it is almost impossible to unsee it. Because now the story is not just about Nikocado losing weight, it is about how long he was allegedly ahead of everybody while the internet sat there thinking they had him figured out. And then people started digging deeper because the timeline got way too suspicious to ignore. Reports said he had been uploading pre-recorded content for close to 2 years, while secretly going through a massive transformation off-camera, losing around 250 pounds over more than 800 days.
This video for me to look back on in the future, because I will get healthy, I will drop pounds, I'll do a transformation. Hi, Nick of the future.
I said it would be very unique, extremely unique. I actually can't name one influencer who's going to do what I'm going to do.
So while viewers thought they were watching him in real time, they were actually watching a version of him that was already old news.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead. This has been the greatest social experiment I've come to know.
That alone flips the whole thing upside down. Because if the audience was reacting to content filmed way earlier, then the public image they built around him was not fully based on reality. It was based on a delayed character, a past version, a version that did not even exist anymore by the time people were roasting it online. And that makes this clip hit way different.
Welcome to Nikocado 2. This is my second channel, and I hope you consider subscribing because I don't even know if people like me. Or if they want to hear from me. I haven't made a video for like 2 years.
Welcome to Nikocado 2. This is my second channel, and I hope you consider subscribing because I don't even know if people like me or if they want to hear from me.
This is something I've always wanted to do. You know, you could even tell in my soliloquy, I am always 2 steps ahead. I mean, these are characters, and it's the vision I've had forever. And the whole character thing, I want to make people laugh.
Because now it sounds less like random insecurity and more like someone testing the room. He knew people had a certain idea of him, and he knew the audience was confused about what they even wanted from him anymore. Did they want the chaos back? Did they want the new version? Or did they only care because they felt tricked? And he leaned straight into that confusion. Nikocado later talked about his background in theater and how performance had always been part of him. When the acting and Broadway dream did not work out, the internet basically became his stage, and the Mukbang character became the role that finally got everybody watching.
In case you didn't see the video on my main channel, basically I'm an actor. I went to school for acting. I have a very long history in performance. My background is in theater, and it was my dream to be on Broadway. Whether I was acting or doing violin, I craved that theater. In the case of Broadway workers, like you get a contract for a tour or a show, and when it's over, you're unemployed again. I basically employed myself on my own terms here on.
That is what makes the whole thing so messy. It blurs the line between what was real, what was exaggerated, and what was straight up performance.
Getting that backlog of, oh yeah, I remember them from this and this and this. But when they're like physically unrecognizable, totally different people, you don't get that backlog running through your brain.
Then he pushed it even further with another video-style reveal about how he fooled the internet, showing old clips where he had apparently dropped hints that nobody caught at the time. And suddenly, those clips did not look random anymore. They looked like breadcrumbs. They looked like warnings. They looked like Nikocado had been winking at the audience the whole time while they were too busy laughing, judging, and arguing to notice.
So it was really easy for me to blur that boundary between fact and fiction, like I said, because I was physically so unwell. How do you take someone seriously or think that they're in control, when they look so out of control?
Because once people realized they might have been watching a performance instead of a breakdown, it changed everything. The content, the reactions, the hate comments, the entire story people built around him. But according to Nikocado himself, there was one moment that really started all of this. He later pointed people back to an older 2022 video on his secondary channel where he used almost the exact same 2 steps ahead style monologue that showed up in the big reveal. And that is what made the whole thing feel even more eerie, because suddenly it didn't look like some brand new idea he cooked up overnight. It looked like something that had been sitting right in front of everybody the whole time.
I'm so excited to be doing a live version of my mukbang all over America and Toronto, Canada. Each show is going to have a presentation about my weight loss, how I did it, a signing, a meet and greet.
The way he framed it made the reveal feel less like a random transformation and more like a long setup. Almost like he was saying, I told you, you just weren't paying attention. And honestly, that is the part that got people, because the audience thought they were watching a sudden comeback, but Nikocado was basically presenting it like a plan that had been in motion way earlier than anyone realized. Overall, the reaction to his transformation was way more positive than people expected. Even viewers and commentators who had dragged him for years had to give him some credit, because secretly losing around 250 pounds while keeping the internet locked into an old version of yourself is not normal creator behavior. That is strategy, patience, and a wild amount of commitment. But even with all that praise, one question still sat in the room. Was this a real lifestyle change, or was it just another shocking chapter in the Nikocado show? Because losing the weight is one thing, but keeping it off is where the real test begins. A lot of people brought that up right away because dramatic transformations online can look amazing at first, but the long-term part is where people usually struggle. And so far, he has not just snapped back into the old routine. If anything, he is going deeper into the transformation. In 2025, he publicly showed the results of facial surgery after the weight loss, and later revealed a 360 body lift where several pounds of loose skin were removed. That kind of step does not feel like someone casually playing around for a quick viral moment. That feels like someone trying to fully close the door on the old version of himself. These are not light decisions either. Surgery, recovery, scars, healing time, and the mental side of seeing your body change that much are all serious. So when people say, what if he goes back, it is fair to wonder, but it's also clear that he has already invested way more into this than just a dramatic YouTube thumbnail. At the same time, something else started shifting too, and that was his actual presence online. The upload schedules slowed down hard. Instead of constant chaos, constant mukbangs, and endless clips for people to argue over, his channel became quieter, sometimes dropping content once a month or even less. Part of that makes sense because he no longer had the same old backlog to lean on, and recovery takes time, but it still changes the whole machine. The louder Nikocado got, the more visible he was, and now that he is quieter, it feels like the internet is finally losing the character it used to obsess over. The version of Nikocado that used to dominate timelines was not hitting the same anymore. The chaos character, the screaming thumbnails, the what did he do now energy, all of that had lost some shock value. He did try to pull attention back in different ways, and one of the biggest moves was the 2 Steps Ahead meet and greet tour planned for 2025, which looked like his chance to step off the screen and face the audience directly. But when the dates got closer, the whole thing fell apart. The tour was canceled, refunds were reportedly issued, and people online started doing what the internet does best, checking seats, sharing screenshots, and trying to figure out why a creator who could pull millions of views could not pull the same energy in real life. The main rumor was low ticket sales, and whether that was the full reason or not, the message was loud. Viral attention does not always turn into ticket sales.
I know that the full footage is not out there. He did it in a way, I don't remember his exact wording, but it was in a...
What did you want to share? Or do you change your mind now?
I just feel like
You said you wanted to talk to your viewers with me here, because you never talked to any of your viewers.
And I just remember feeling just shocked because the way he went about it was just so, almost like an interrogation. A couple of days have been filled with just a lot of manipulation, in particular manipulating my own words against me to make me do things that I don't want to do and I don't feel comfortable doing. And a lot of Nikocado Avocado using his platform to threaten me and to bully me. At this point, my home safety is kind of in question.
Around that same time, Nikocado made another move that did not feel random. He went back to one of the biggest stains on his career, the Stephanie Sue controversy.
Stephanie Sue told the internet about our real-life interaction together in a way that seemed less like a personal story and more like a true crime special.
That drama started in 2019 after a collab with Stephanie and Zach Choi, where everything looked normal on camera. But behind the scenes, Stephanie later said she felt pressured, uncomfortable, and manipulated.
Stephanie and I had met just one time in person before filming. One time, at a restaurant. We didn't know each other very well. We weren't close. We were just trying to break the ice before filming.
Back then, the internet did not play with him. Stephanie's video hit hard. Zach got dragged into the mess, and Nikocado's response did not convince a lot of people.
in and out of sleep.
In and out of sleep.
Instead of clearing his name, it made the audience look at him even worse, like the villain role he had been playing online had suddenly followed him into real life.
Hopefully you can trust me now.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Whole Me Too movement.
Hashtag me too.
But revisiting it after the weight loss reveal changed the setup. This time he came in calmer, more controlled, and more careful with his words. He argued that parts of the story had been framed unfairly, pointed to moments he believed were edited in a misleading way, and tried to show more context around old clips.
Stephanie didn't just rely on her words to sell this story. She relied on performance. The trembling voice, the sudden tone shifts, even moments where she appeared to cry, only for the emotion to vanish seconds later. It just all felt.
At the same time, he did not act like he was completely innocent either. He acknowledged that he pushed certain topics Stephanie did not want to talk about and apologized for publicly shaming her over the canceled collaboration. That made the response feel less reckless than before, even if people still had every right to question the timing.
That was 100% my fault. I was immature, I was unkind, I was unprofessional, I was childish, I was wrong. Stephanie, I am genuinely sorry. You were not obligated to sit and gossip with me on camera. You didn't owe me that. And I was totally out of line for reacting the way I did when you didn't show up to film.
And that is where things got interesting. Not everyone switched sides, and some viewers still felt like reopening the drama was messy, but the conversation was not as one-sided as it was in 2019. Some people who had written him off were suddenly willing to hear him out, which shows how much timing, image, and public perception can change the internet courtroom. As of now, Stephanie has not made a major public response to that newer video, and after all these years, silence might be her answer.
Turn off the camera.
What's wrong, are you guys?
Turn off the camera.
Oh, wait, they got the aspect.
Yeah, it's pinching really bad.
Oh.
Sure.
Bringing the Stephanie Sue situation back up doesn't really help her the same way it helps him. For Stephanie, that chapter already happened. The internet already picked it apart, and jumping back into it could only drag her name into another messy round of reactions. But for Nikocado, it feels like he wanted to close one of the last open tabs on his public image before moving even further away from the old chaos. Still, not everybody is buying the redemption arc. There are viewers who feel like his past should not just be brushed off because he lost weight, spoke calmly, and came back with better timing. Character or not, people still remember the staged-looking medical scares, the extreme on-camera behavior, the screaming matches, and the way certain relationships were turned into content for views.
Why?
Sit.
You're so fucking controlling.
And that is where the debate gets tricky. Some people see those moments as entertainment that got exaggerated for the camera, while others see them as irresponsible because his audience was massive, young, and constantly being fed drama like it was normal. Even if Nikocado Avocado says it was performance, the impact was still real to the viewers who watched him every day and believed they were seeing a person fall apart online.
You haven't done neither. You've done neither. You just keep eating stuff.
But then you have the other side of the room. Those people see him as someone who understood the internet better than the internet understood him. He knew outrage sells. He knew people love to judge. He knew if he gave them chaos, they would keep coming back, sharing clips, making reaction videos, and keeping his name alive without even realizing they were helping him win. From that angle, the transformation is not just about the weight loss. It is about the full rebrand. He went from being the meme people laughed at to the guy who made the same audience question whether they had been played the whole time. That is a crazy shift, and whether you like him or not, it's hard to deny that he changed the story around himself. So that is where this whole thing lands. Depending on how you look at it, Nikocado Avocado either pulled off one of the wildest turnarounds YouTube has ever seen, or he simply controlled the narrative well enough to cash out, clean up, and step back on his own terms. Now I want to know what you think. Was this a real redemption, or was it a perfectly timed move after getting everything he could from the internet? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this one is not as simple as it looks. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on the next one.